see a scenario where I put a small bet, I put, say, $100 on decision Munguia to get back how much? 800? 700?
700.
Mookie ain't knocking out no damn Canelo. Triple G couldn't even hurt Canelo. That dude got the best chin in the business, bruh. He ain't knocking out no Canelo, and he ain't gonna have no chin over freaking Knight. He got a chin.
Boxing pros have just revealed their predictions for the Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia fight. The upcoming showdown has been painted as a one-sided affair, with the odds heavily favoring the reigning champion. However, those who dabble in betting understand that things aren't always as they seem. Teddy Atlas, a venerable figure in the boxing world, is among those who caution against underestimating Munguia too hastily.
Alvarez is the golden goose. Alvarez brings the money, brings the pay-per-view. Alvarez gets his way. He gets to choose what he wants. He's that guy because he brings this, right? De Niro, mucho. So he picked Munguia. Munguia didn't pick him. That's all you need to know. He picked Munguia. And his people picked him for a reason.
Alvarez made the bold choice to square off against Munguia rather than the formidable David Benavidez, a decision that left many fans disheartened. Benavidez had been clamoring for a showdown with Canelo, steadily honing his skills with each bout. Nevertheless, Jaime Munguia, at the age of 27, boasts an impressive 11-year career, having stepped into the ring 43 times and emerged victorious in all 43 bouts. Teddy Atlas isn't off base in his assessment that Munguia possesses more than just the typical puncher's shot at victory. Atlas delved into the upcoming bout, igniting speculation about a potential upset and outlining plausible scenarios for its occurrence. Atlas said that if Munguia were able to survive that, and if he were able to get through that, and be able to last rounds and, as he said, control the outside with his reach with his jab, there was a scenario where Munguia could win a decision against Canelo.
Get through that and be able to last rounds and, like I said, control the outside with his reach, with his jab. There's a scenario, and where Canelo gets a little old, there's a scenario, and I'm admitting that, I'm putting that right out there, where Munguia could win a decision.
Well, Munguia by decision will get you plus 700.
I am saying it according to these props. When there's props, you have to adjust to what the props are. You have to make your picks, your handicapping appropriate to the props, adjusted to the props. I'm telling you, I think Canelo wins the fight. So that's clear. I'm saying I think Canelo wins. But I would take a small wage on Munguia, saying it's worth a shot. If they're going to give me plus 700, if he could pull off, if he could survive getting hurt, if he could, his chin holds up, if he could fight smart enough on the outside with his reach.
Teddy Atlas also suggests that while Canelo Alvarez is formidable, he may have some defensive vulnerabilities. Despite his confidence in Alvarez's ability to defeat Jaime Munguia, Atlas emphasizes that Munguia shouldn't be underestimated. Atlas highlights that if Munguia effectively utilizes his reach and jab to dictate the distance, he could potentially shift the dynamics of the bout in his favor.
Pitch a little bit. He's still a top guy, but he's showing a little signs of slippage. Maybe he showed it when he wasn't up for the fight. Maybe that was it. He fought Ryder from England, and he didn't look great. And Ryder's a tough guy, and he maybe a couple years earlier, Ryder wouldn't have went the distance. But Ryder's a tough guy. He's a legitimate guy. But I still thought Alvarez should have done better with Ryder, handled him a little better. And either he showed slippage in that fight, or he wasn't up for it. And that's possible.
This scenario could pave the way for his triumph through a decision, reminiscent of Ryan Garcia's recent win over Devin Haney. Garcia's remarkable victory garnered admiration from Alvarez himself, who had nothing but commendation for King Rye's achievement. Canelo and Ryan's past was marked by strife, but it appears they've smoothed things over. After Garcia's victory over Haney, the undisputed super middleweight champion honored him with recognition. In a YouTube interview with Fight Hype, he claimed that Garcia was the most gifted person in his division. He said, said, with that mentality, he can fight anyone and beat anyone. I'm surprised, but I'm not, because I know the talent Ryan has. So he did really good, and I'm happy for him. Timothy Bradley has also shared his opinions on the upcoming fight. While Munguia comes into the fight with confidence, Bradley, a former world champion himself, is unable to look past Canelo. He said, I think Canelo beats him, and I think he beats him handily. Sergey Derevyanchenko was able to get in Munguia's behind, and some people even thought Derevyanchenko beat Munguia. You've got a guy as smart as Canelo who can land that boom. That's what it is. Alvarez, hailed as a titan among contemporary boxers, proudly grasps the crowns of all 4 prestigious super middleweight championships. Meanwhile, Munguia stands undefeated with an impeccable tally of 43 victories in as many bouts, yet he now confronts a formidable ascent in his competitive journey. Canelo's seasoned expertise and illustrious history of triumphs against top-tier adversaries firmly establish him as the frontrunner in this impending clash. While Canelo is widely anticipated to deliver a commanding performance, Oscar De La Hoya, Munguia's promoter, hints at an alternative scenario. Head of Golden Boy Promotions and Munguia's promoter, De La Hoya, voiced confidence in his fighter's chances despite the odds. During a recent interview on Fight Hub TV's YouTube channel, De La Hoya discussed the forthcoming bout, emphasizing Munguia's vibrant energy and capacity to pose a threat to the seasoned champion. De La Hoya mentioned that concerning Munguia, there was a lot of energy, the youth, comparing it to an old horse and a young thoroughbred. He suggested that it could be a long night for Canelo if Munguia remained disciplined and stuck to his game plan completely.
You know, a lot of punching and punches and bunches. You know, a lot of energy, the youth. You know, the old horse, the young thoroughbred. It can be a long night for Canelo if Jaime is disciplined 100% with his game plan.
As Canelo Alvarez is gearing up to protect his undisputed super middleweight title against compatriot Jaime Munguia on May 4th, DraftKings' report indicates that Canelo strides into the ring as the clear frontrunner. He boasts odds of -525 in his favor, while Munguia finds himself positioned as a considerable underdog with odds of +380 stacked against him. However, John Ryder believes that, in order to defeat Munguia, Canelo will need to rally from behind. Alvarez, formerly backed by De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, maintains a notable edge as he steps into what might be one of his last battles in a storied career. Ryder, who recently faced him, acknowledges the allure of a potential showdown and the danger posed by Munguia. Ryder hung up his gloves in January, bowing out after a 9-round bout with Munguia, who managed to halt his momentum. Just prior, Ryder had showcased remarkable endurance against Alvarez during the Cinco de Mayo weekend in 2023. Ryder remarked that the improvements Munguia made from the Sergey Derevyanchenko fight under the guidance of Freddie Roach to facing him were impressive. He admitted that he believed the Canelo fight had taken more out of him than he initially realized. Ryder said, I do think the Canelo fight took a lot out of me, and more than I realized at the time. But I still felt I was going in there in great nick and was going to do a job. Munguia took that away from me and put me down more than I've ever been put down, and ultimately stopped me. Ryder further added that the accumulation of punches thrown by Munguia is notably high, emphasizing his high work rate and punch output. In contrast, Canelo is more measured and sensible in his approach, carefully selecting his shots and ensuring their effectiveness. Ryder added, Canelo's not, he's very sensible. He picks his shots well, he doesn't waste nothing. What he throws, he knows he's going to land, whereas Munguia's more volume, but he's got more snap than Canelo. Canelo's a real thudding puncher, whereas Munguia's got that pop bang. However, Ryder also acknowledged that Canelo's punch accuracy is exceptionally high, despite giving opponents indications of his impending shots, which might lead them to believe they can evade them. Canelo still manages to connect with force. According to Ryder, he'll give you the sign that he's going to throw the shot and you think, right, I can see this coming, and you evade a few, but he's going to hit you, and he's going to land, and it's going to be hard. Everything's going to be behind that shot. He does take his toll on people down the line. Ryder further commented that it's a fantastic opportunity for Munguia. He noted the underlying tension between De La Hoya and Canelo, which could add intrigue to the fight week buildup. Despite acknowledging Munguia's deserving shot at the title, Ryder predicted a victory for Canelo. He added, it's a great opportunity. Obviously, there's a bit of needle there with De La Hoya and Canelo, so that might be the more interesting sell on the fight week. Munguia's a willing participant. He did a number on me. He truly deserves his crack, but I think Canelo wins. Ryder anticipated a closely contested match, suggesting that Munguia might take an early lead, possibly winning the first 3 or 4 rounds. However, Ryder believed that Canelo would gradually assert his dominance in the latter half of the fight. He said, I think it'll be close. Munguia will get off to a good start. Might even go 3 or 4 rounds up maybe, but I think Canelo will come on strong in the second half of the fight and make it his own. He's too accurate, and he's got the lasting effect in his shots. He'll grind Munguia down, and I don't think he'll stop him, but I think he'll beat him on points. While consensus among numerous experts suggests that the upcoming night won't be a walk in the park for Canelo, his extensive tenure of over 10 years at the pinnacle of global boxing affirms his readiness for the challenge. Among those who express unwavering faith in Alvarez's prowess stands Leonard Ellerbe, CEO of Mayweather Promotions, renowned for his astute predictions in the realm of upcoming bouts. In the upcoming clash featuring the Mexican contender, it's cautioned that the reigning undisputed super middleweight champion intends to impart a profound lesson to his youthful adversary on what it truly entails to grace a global stage with a stellar performance. Ellerbe said, "Canelo is going to knock him out. Yeah, in a brutal way. Brutal." The analyst emphasized having reviewed numerous recordings of Munguia's bouts. Despite Munguia's size advantage over Canelo, the indicators are unmistakable, akin to messages etched on a wall. Even with Freddie Roach's involvement, the outcome seems inevitable. The reporter recalled a recent discussion with David Benavidez regarding the upcoming match, during which the Mexican monster offered insights on Munguia's potential strategies against the reigning super middleweight champion. In contrast to Ellerbe's views, Benavidez doesn't foresee Munguia being a straightforward adversary. Jaime Munguia is a powerful boxer who thrives on combination punching. That's why he should look to stay away from Canelo. Otherwise, he'll end up in his distance, and he's going to get shot at by the champion, he said. Given this argument, Ellerbe assured that the job won't be easy for Munguia. It's not as easy as it looks because Canelo has a low center of gravity. He knows how to get under the shots. He knows how to dodge the shots. He knows how to set up the shots. His IQ is off the charts. Finally, the head of Mayweather Promotions assured that Munguia has considerable fight experience, but not at this level. So he's in for a rude awakening when he goes in there. It's not like he's looking at John Ryder or anybody else again. Christian Mbili, boasting an impeccable 26-0 record with 22 electrifying knockouts, eagerly eyes the upcoming match. Positioned among the elite top 4 contenders vying for the super middleweight titles, Mbili exudes confidence, seemingly unimpressed by Munguia's standing in the ring. However, Mbili foresees a straightforward defense for the 33-year-old against the challenger from Tijuana. Mbili elaborated in his assessment of the bout, pointing out Munguia's susceptibility to knockouts due to his weak chin. He said, "I still think it will be a pretty easy fight for Canelo. He's the better fighter. He should knock Munguia out, but it will be a very easy win for Canelo if he knocks him out." While Munguia sees a glimmer of hope, Mbili cautions that Canelo's prowess may be waning, potentially paving the way for Tatanka to seize an opportunity. He said, "Munguia doesn't have a very good chin. He doesn't like pressure, and I don't think he can take a punch that well. I think Canelo can knock him out if he wants to, but I think Canelo is having trouble stopping any fighter. I looked at his last 3 fights, he had a lot of problems." How can Canelo Alvarez be defeated by Jaime Munguia? While Mbili anticipates Canelo's victory as a straightforward outcome, he acknowledges hope for the Tijuana fighter. Mbili suggests that to secure an unexpected win, the contender must exert immense pressure while maintaining vigilant defense to evade any potentially devastating blows that could knock him down. Mbili warned Munguia he will need a very good defense. He will have to stay focused and move his head throughout the fight. I hope he has good conditioning. However, President Eric Gomez of Golden Boy holds a different perspective. While he acknowledges that many pundits favor Canelo to emerge victorious, both he and Golden Boy exude tangible confidence in Munguia's abilities. Gomez recently told Boxing Scene, "He is in tip-top shape. Look for the upset. We feel very strongly that he is going to upset Canelo." Under the guidance of Freddie Roach, Munguia triumphed over John Ryder earlier this year. Roach's experience with Canelo dates back to his coaching of Miguel Cotto for a bout against Canelo in 2015. However, nearly a decade has passed since then, and Alvarez's journey has undergone significant transformations since that encounter. There's a constant amidst the flux. Canelo stands out as the foremost figure in boxing. However, Gomez is convinced that Munguia's fierce determination and insatiable hunger will be pivotal in testing the boundaries of the sport's face of boxing. Gomez said, "Canelo is still the king of boxing. Munguia is going to leave it all in the ring. Considering all the elements at play in this showdown, there's a strong case to be made that Munguia isn't receiving the recognition he deserves as a possible contender." At 33, Canelo bears the marks of numerous battles, whereas Munguia, at 27, has remarkably endured minimal punishment despite stepping into the ring 43 times as a professional. Having once played the role of matchmaker at Golden Boy before ascending to the presidency, Gomez possesses an intimate understanding of what makes a thrilling bout, skillfully orchestrating the elements that culminate in an unforgettable spectacle. Although he favors Munguia, he admits, it is going to be a tough fight for both fighters. years. As Canelo Alvarez is getting ready to face Jaime Munguia, Chris Algieri has given him a lot of strategies to win. Algieri, a former title holder in the 140-pound division, has pinpointed what he considers to be the key strategy to challenge Canelo. Algieri pointed out that Canelo has a vulnerability to jabs. He referenced Floyd Mayweather's success in utilizing the jab against Canelo and highlighted Sergey Kovalev's effectiveness in troubling Canelo with his underrated jab, which set up power shots. According to Algieri, Canelo relies on a high guard defense, and consistently targeting that with jabs can limit his opportunities for counterpunching.
For the weight class, he's tall, he's a big 68-pounder. Canelo is shorter than me. He's not a big 68-pounder. He's going to have to deal with this big, long guy in front of him. And listen, if there was ever a blueprint on how to beat Canelo Alvarez, Dimitri Bivol showed us. And he did 3 things that are really important. He kept the jab in Canelo's face. Canelo doesn't like jabs. Floyd Mayweather used a jab to beat him, and to a degree, Sergey Kovalev gave Canelo a lot of trouble because he has a very underrated jab and a good jab that sets up those power shots. Number 2, set a pace. Bivol sets a pace. He throws a lot of punches. He was very, very active with his hands and his feet. And then number 3, mixing offense and defense together, making that seamless, being able to hit and not be hit. That's what boxing is all about. Using that in and out style that Bivol used while keeping his hands and his offense in Canelo's face really handcuffed him all night long. Because like I mentioned earlier, Canelo likes that high guard defense. If you keep touching that, keep that busy, keep those hands at home, it takes away a lot of those counter and offensive opportunities for Canelo.
Canelo maintains his strong position as the favored contender against Munguia. However, Robert Diaz is convinced that Munguia has reached his peak and is poised to present Canelo with a formidable challenge. Diaz said, "It's perfect timing. Munguia is at his best. Had it been a year ago, 2 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about it like we are today. The timing is perfect. Munguia's filled into the weight class perfectly. He looks big, he looks strong, he believes in himself. The experience is there of handling big fights. He's headlined a few already himself." Diaz added that Munguia's fan base has expanded, attributing part of his success to his skilled trainer, Freddie Roach. Moreover, Diaz anticipated that Munguia and his team would develop a solid strategy for the fight, taking into account the dynamic of a Mexican versus Mexican matchup, which typically evokes national pride on both sides. Diaz added, "I'm sure they're going to have a great strategy, not only as a Mexican versus a Mexican, which always brings out the pride in each side. I can lose to anybody in the world, but I'm not going to lose to a countryman. That's what always provides this with fireworks and guarantees a spectacular performance and a spectacular fight." Moreover, Diaz elaborated that Munguia's matchmaking had been astute and well executed, acknowledging the commendable work of Fernando Beltran, Munguia's co-promoter from Zonfer Promotions. He reflected on his own experiences, particularly the frustration he encountered during Munguia's fight with Turiano Johnson in 2020. Diaz added, "I did the fight with Turiano Johnson personally, and Turiano hurt him in the first round and looked like he was going to knock him out. Munguia showed a lot of heart, recovered, and then stopped Turiano later on a bad cut. It's timing and position." Diaz further noted that Munguia has always possessed a natural inclination towards aggressiveness in the ring. He's known for his strength and forward-moving style. However, Diaz believed that the area where Munguia needed more guidance was in improving his defensive techniques, particularly in terms of head movement to avoid unnecessary hits and utilizing his height and reach advantage effectively. According to Diaz, even though Freddie is that type of trainer, aggressive, go toe-to-toe type, I think he's adapted to that, and he's picked it up very well. You can see Munguia in camp, in just one camp prior, enjoying the camp and moving out here and doing sparring in the US. Obviously, that's going to help as well with sparring partners. Adding to the buzz, even a former adversary of Canelo has weighed in, offering insights into what might unfold. Fight Hype reached out to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. to check for his views on the Alvarez-Munguia clash. "What do you think about Canelo Munguia? You fought Canelo," the reporter asked. In response to inquiries about his boxing preference, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. weighed in, favoring Jaime Munguia over Canelo Alvarez. Chavez Jr. emphasized Munguia's youthfulness and his consistent challenges against top-tier opponents as the deciding factors in his choice. "I think Canelo is a celebrity for his vibe, but I like Munguia because he's younger and he fights the best," he said. As he observes Munguia's progression in every bout, it's evident that under the guidance of the esteemed trainer Freddie Roach, his skills have significantly sharpened. Therefore, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. exudes confidence in Munguia's upcoming match on May 4th, even though Canelo remains the clear favorite among fans and analysts alike. He added, "I see a lot of progress in every fight, so with Freddie Roach, I have confidence in Munguia, but of course Canelo is the favorite." The journalist later approached Chavez Jr. to inquire about any noticeable alterations in Canelo's fighting technique since their bout 7 years prior. Reflecting on his time as a middleweight champion, Chavez Jr. reminisced about the weight he had to shed for the match. He praised Canelo's boxing prowess, yet firmly asserted that despite being the undisputed super middleweight champion, Canelo doesn't qualify as a true great in the sport. Chavez Jr. seemed convinced that a rematch between the two is looming, which could explain his prediction that Alvarez might falter in the initial bout. As a result, he suggested that Jaime Munguia could potentially seize the spotlight, offering him the benefit of the doubt. Canelo, the reigning super middleweight champion, with an impressive record of 60 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, boasting 39 knockouts, is set to face off against a fellow countryman for the first time since 2017. Back then, he showcased his dominance over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., securing a resounding unanimous decision victory. Canelo has insisted for years that he would prefer not to fight another Mexican, but he made the decision to take on Munguia. He said, "I said that, yes, but sometimes you need to do it. This fight with Jaime is going to be very big and important for Mexico. I love being involved in these kinds of fights. I'm proud to give the opportunity to Jaime Munguia. We are the first 2 Mexicans to fight for 4 belts. There has been a great deal of mutual respect during the civilized lead-up to the battle. Munguia's penchant for aggressive tactics, paired with his defensive weaknesses, promises an exciting showdown that could unveil Canelo's dormant firepower, which has been somewhat subdued in his recent bouts. Could we be headed for a civil war?" Canelo said, "Yeah, I always love being involved in a war. The styles make fights. With our 2 styles, it's going to be a really good fight. He's coming with the mentality to give everything to win, and I am the same." Moreover, Canelo believes he will defeat Jaime Munguia in 8 rounds during their undisputed super middleweight title match on Saturday. As they made their grand arrivals at the MGM Grand, Canelo, who some believe is in decline because he hasn't managed to stop his last 4 opponents, spoke of the impactful statement he intends to deliver. He said, "Winning by knockout is always wonderful, right? So I think I'm going to win by knockout before the 8th round. I don't care if Munguia is younger, older. I don't care, because Canelo in the end is different." Meanwhile, Jaime Munguia says he is aiming to shock the world with a triumph that would see him snatch all 4 titles from his fellow countrymen. To make his mark, he's concocted a fresh strategy and will step into the T-Mobile Arena with confidence blazing. Munguia shared with TUDN his preparations alongside trainer Freddie Roach, unveiling a slew of adjustments aimed at reaching peak condition for his upcoming May 4th bout. He said, "We are going to change many things in general. We are going to work speed, defense, many things, and above all, have a great condition for that day. We are going to work the same as always. Obviously, we are going to work much harder." He also emphasized the strong team dynamic he has developed with the seasoned Freddie Roach. Munguia said, "I'm very happy to be working with Freddie. I think we've worked very well together. I think we've done a great job. And the truth is that we will continue to do a great job." For the victory on May 4th, Munguia shared with TUDN his preparations alongside trainer Freddie Roach, unveiling a slew of adjustments aimed at reaching peak condition for his upcoming bout. He said, "I know Canelo is a fighter with many qualities, a lot of experience. He has speed, good waist movement, hits hard, endures. So he is a very complete fighter." Munguia also knows that he needs to win against Canelo, because should he prevail, he will receive everyone's respect. He said, "Sportingly, I think I win everything. All the visualization of the people, the respect of all the people, of all the public, then it is what I would like to win the most." As the date of the showdown approaches, anticipation mounts for what promises to be a compelling clash between 2 Mexican contenders vying for supremacy in the super middleweight division. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.